let's talk about gourmand fragrances. Now, if you've watched me for a long time, if you know anything about me, you know that gourmand fragrances, I think in my entire journey of reviewing fragrances, gourmand has always been one of my favorite categories in fragrance. Forever. I am a sucker for sweet perfumes. I am a sucker for vanilla, tonka bean, caramel, coffee, chocolate. I am a sucker for all of those notes in fragrance. So today, I want to share with you guys within my collection, not within the entire world of fragrance, which maybe I will do this as well, but within my collection, what are the best of the best gourmand fragrances. So let's talk about this today. I have 10 fragrances and every single one of them for me is a true gourmand. Now for me it's kind of hard to it can be interpreted in many different ways, the term gourmand. It can mean fruity because fruity is technically something that you eat. It can mean boozy because boozy is what you drink and it's edible, you know. And for me, this was a little hard because I have some boozy fragrances that I love. I have some fruity fragrances that I would consider kind of edible and yummy. But at the same time, I wanted to pick the true gourmands that for me really smell like you want to eat them. I don't really have a list of like 10 to 1. I just want to talk about each 10 and I am so excited because I have a new fragrance that I just received last night and I think it's one of the best gourmands that I have ever tried. So the first fragrance that I have to include in this list, and it's one that I've loved for a very long time, and it is Nishane's Annie. This fragrance is very popular now. A lot of people know it, a lot of people love it, and for a good reason. Nishane is a fantastic, high quality niche house that was pretty under the radar for a long time. But now I feel like a lot of people know Nishane and a lot of people love the brand, which thank God, because it really deserves the exposure that it has recently got. I believe this is a Turkish brand actually, Nishane. Anyways, Nishane Annie, it's this delicious, very strong and very potent spicy vanilla. For me, it could almost be along the lines of Leighton from Parfums de Marly. For me, it smells like it's in the same vibe as this 100%, a spicy, woody vanilla. That's exactly what this is. It has this very distinct, spicy, almost a little pepperiness from some ginger. And the vanilla is just intoxicating. When it dries down, it becomes super cozy and very sweet and delicious. It is a beast mode scent. It lasts hours and hours and hours on your skin and it fills the room, which is why I love it. Nishane Annie, fantastic vanilla scent. And if you haven't tried it yet, you 100% should. I think that this is a perfectly unisex fragrance, like 100% unisex. It doesn't lean feminine, nor does it smell masculine. It is unisex, it is great, and it is one of the best gourmands within my collection. Next up, let's talk about this fragrance, and I'm sorry, but I really hate the Montale bottles. Like, I have to just be honest right now, I hate them. Anyways, Montale Intense Café, it is a fantastic gourmand scent. For me, sometimes the rose oud combinations, they can smell either super oudy, super rosy, or super sweet. For me, Lancôme Oud Bouquet is less gourmand than Intense Café. Intense Café is really a gourmand scent. It is creamy, sweet, edible, delicious. For me, I don't really pick up any oud in this fragrance whatsoever. I pick up a super sweet, syrupy, creamy rose scent. The only thing that I will say about this fragrance is that it is really not unique anymore, and not because it's popular. This is a very popular fragrance, one of the best sellers from Montale, but the reason that I'm saying that it's not unique anymore is because there are so many sweet rose ouds on the market that if you buy one, chances are that, you know, you're not going to smell the most unique anymore. But it is a fantastic scent, one of my favorite gourmand rose ouds, and it is just delicious. Obviously, this little baby right here, Baccarat Rouge 540, the Extrait. Now for me, this is kind of like a borderline gourmand. To me, it doesn't really smell like chocolate or like so much vanilla, but it definitely is sweet. So I did want to put it in the list. Baccarat Rouge 540, the Extrait, which in my opinion, I do prefer the Extrait over the Eau de Parfum. This fragrance, you guys already know it's very sweet and very woody. And it has this kind of like burning sugary smell to it, which I just love. Burning sugar, woody, caramelized, just divine, massive compliment getter, absolutely delicious gourmand scent. But like I said, it's a borderline gourmand because for me, it doesn't really smell like you could eat it, but it almost does, if you know what I'm saying. So highly recommend Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait. Love, love, love. Next up, let's talk about Tonka Imperiale by Guerlain. Now, again, this is sort of the same as Baccarat, where it's a borderline gourmand. I do think that it's very edible and very delicious, but it's not to the point where it's sickly or too much, you know. And for me, this line, the Art of Materials collection from Guerlain, for me, it is the best, like the best line from Guerlain, hands down. I love Spiritus du Bleveny, highly recommend. Cuir Beluga, incredible, I highly recommend. Angelique Noir, one of the best perfumes in the world. There are so many from the Art of Materials collection. You cannot go wrong. You will find something within this collection that you love, and it is one of the most beautiful, refined, and incredible lines of perfumery that I've ever tried. And Tonka Imperiale is a perfect example of that. It's beautiful. It's very balsamic, a little spicy, tonka bean, almondy, very almondy, woody. Oh, it's just divine. It's absolutely divine, and I just love it. Tonka Imperiale from Guerlain, one of the best gourmands, and Guerlain, one of the best fragrance houses in the entire world. So next up, let's talk about this little baby right here. This one is from Royal Crown, and it is called Sultan. Now for me, this is a very mysterious, very dark, very unisex gourmand scent. This is, like I said, dark and woody and sweet and waxy, almost a little like inky. There is this really like, there is a lot of depth to this fragrance. It is not just like this bubbly vanilla girly girl, no way at all. This is a very warm, oriental, deep, Arabic style fragrance. Arabic style gourmand. It almost has a chocolatey feeling, like the vanilla almost smells like it's mixed with chocolate. It is just delicious, highly recommend, and for me, one of the best gourmands for men and women. If you wanted to share with your partner, with whoever, your brother, this is a fantastic gourmand, completely unisex, very dark and mysterious, and pretty unique, I would say as well. Let's talk about this baby right here. You guys know, if you've watched me again for the years that I've been reviewing fragrances, this has remained one of my top favorite fragrances ever, and it will always be one of my favorite fragrances ever, and it is Herrera from Parfums de Marly. Now Herrera to me is just so intoxicating, so sexy, so addictive, delicious, so mysterious as well. It's a vanilla, tobacco, cinnamon. It almost has this like cherry pipe tobacco vibe to it. I always say that, but it's kind of how I like to describe the scent. If you like Herrera, you would also like a fragrance from Kilian called Back to Black. I feel like they could be in the same vibe. Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. They're all kind of in that same vibe, but for me, Herrera is the king. I love it. For men and women, equally, it is one of the best fragrances ever. Delicious gourmand, but it has a lot of depth to it. It's not, like I said, it's not just a vanilla, it's not just a cinnamon fragrance. It is so complex, it has so many layers, and it's just super intoxicating. So Herrera from Marly will forever be one of my favorite gourmands, and I will always recommend it. So next up we have one from Kilian, and it is one of my favorite Kilians, and in my opinion probably the best Kilian. It is Intoxicated. Intoxicated is again a gourmand, but it has so many layers to it. Actually, I would say that this is a little more masculine rather than feminine. I would say it's unisex, leaning a little more masculine, but Intoxicated by Kilian is intoxicating. It's spicy, very, very, very spicy, very, very dark. There is some coffee, some chocolate, some vanilla, but for me, there is the most prominent note of this fragrance is that spiciness, but it is so intoxicating, so powerful. It almost has a little bit of a freshness to it. It's just wow. It really is a wow, wow, wow scent, and one of the best from Kilian. Like I said, in my opinion, it is the best, but it's really wow. Intoxicated by Kilian. Incredible gourmand fragrance that I recommend for men and women, especially men. I have 3 more fragrances, and I think these 3 fragrances that I'm going to speak about now, I think these are my favorites from the list, hands down, and I really think that you guys need to go and try each and every one of them ASAP. So I recently discovered the Carolina Herrera private collection. I smelled them in Bloomingdale's and I was blown away. And I cannot tell you guys how much I am wearing them. I have, wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10 of them from the private collection, and I think that that shows how much I love this line. It is so underrated. Everybody talks about the Dior Privé, the Chanel exclusives, this and that and the other, but the Carolina Herrera private collection is extremely underrated. And you guys, I'm about to introduce you, if you like gourmands, about to introduce you to one of the best that I've ever tried. This fragrance is called Bronze Tonka. It's not a Tonka fragrance, in my opinion. This is a incredible, warm, slightly syrupy. It has some coffee. It's very woody and deep. Honestly, guys, I cannot even tell you what is inside of this fragrance, but I've actually looked at the notes before, and the notes do not add up to the fragrance at all in my mind. What I get is kind of like a fruity, warm, syrupy, deep, dark, vanillic. Right here is one of the best gourmands that I've tried, and it is just incredible. Bronze Tonka from Carolina Herrera. I cannot stop wearing this fragrance, and every time I wear it, I get a compliment. I will be honest, I like to mix it with another fragrance from the Carolina Herrera private collection. I like to mix the two, and I like to layer them, etc. But Bronze Tonka is just wow. And you really, guys, if you like gourmands, you really need to check this one out. It is fantastic, and the line in general from Carolina Herrera. My other favorite is one called Nightfall Patchouli, because I'm obsessed with patchouli right now, and the Nightfall Patchouli is just phenomenal. I cannot tell you. There's also another one called Amber Desire, Mystery Tobacco, Golden Scent, but my favorite, I think, is the Bronze Tonka. It is just delicious. Fantastic gourmand scent that you need to try right now. Obviously, I had to include my fragrance, MINUIT ET DEMI by Parfums de Bois and me. And for me, this is definitely one of the best gourmands. Obviously, guys, I am biased, and I don't want you to think like I'm pushing it in your face, because at the end of the day, if you want to support me, and if you like what I do here, and you like my recommendations, and you've bought things off of my recommendations that you end up loving, then I would tell you guys to go and buy MINUIT ET DEMI. But if you don't care about it, you don't want to buy it, then, you know, I also don't really care. At the end of the day, I created this with Parfums de Bois and Simrise, the lab that I work with, and I really feel like I created a great gourmand fragrance. I'm not going to say I created the best, but I'm going to say that I created a great gourmand that I love and I truly love to wear. MINUIT ET DEMI, for me, it is just delicious. It has the coffee, it has the vanilla, it has the spice in the top. I love the opening of my fragrance. It is just divine. It lasts a really, really long time on your clothes, and I will tell you guys to, if you buy it, if you have it, if you own it, and if you want to buy it, I'm telling you guys to spray it on your skin. It will last a long time, but also spray it on your clothes. It will last days and days and days. The projection on MINUIT ET DEMI is decent. It's not super linear, but it's not massive. It doesn't fill a room like Intense Cafe from Montale, for instance. Not at all. It is much softer, but it does project still. And I have had experience of other people wearing it around me so I know that it does. It's a coffee, vanilla, you guys already know, I'm so proud of it. And I do want to say, if you guys are uncertain about the scent, there is a fragrance that I had no idea even existed, and I smelled it after I launched my perfume, and it smells very similar, and it is from Penhaligon's, and it is called Changing Constance. The Penhaligon's fragrance is fantastic, and it does smell very similar to MINUIT Et Demi, but I tested both and my fragrance lasts much longer than Changing Constance, but both smell kind of in the same line. So yeah, I can't wait to relaunch the perfume so that more of you guys can try it and wear it and buy it, especially if you love gourmands like me. Finally, we have probably one of the best gourmands I've ever tried. This fragrance is a true gourmand fragrance. This is not a borderline gourmand, something sweet. This is completely an edible perfume that you feel like you spray it on your skin and you could eat your own skin because it's so edible. This is the new Italica by Xerjoff. I have wanted this fragrance since I started collecting perfumes. That's what I'm gonna say. I cannot tell you guys how long I have waited for this perfume. It was out of stock and then it went away, and I never had the chance to try it. It was never in any boutiques, not in Dubai, not in Australia, nowhere. I could never find this perfume, and I finally have it, and I will tell you guys what I think right now. Let's see. This is truly one of the most incredible gourmands that I've tried, but I'm telling you guys right now, this is a straight up gourmand. This has toffee. For me, it really smells like a almond cake. It smells like a warm, bitter almond, a little bit powdery almond biscuit, almond cake. One of the best gourmands I've ever tried in my life. But it really smells like food. That's the thing, that if you want to really smell like an almond cake, like food, you need to try this fragrance. It is just phenomenal. I believe the notes are like toffee, milk, vanilla, saffron. But for me, I'm just telling you guys what it smells like. An almond cake, some powdered sugar, maybe a little bit of a red fruit vibe. It's just incredible. 10 out of 10 gourmand. If you want a gourmand, this is one of the best that you can get in the entire world. Also, I want to say don't buy it right now because I am going to have a discount code with Xerjoff the end of March. We have been planning this for a while. Literally, we've been planning it for like 3 months to do a code together, and we finally are going to have one the end of March. So hold off if you wanted to buy it. Hold off for my code, and I will tell you guys more about it in the next coming videos. So that's my last recommendation, Xerjoff Italica. So that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. This is easily one of my favorite topics in perfumery, is gourmand. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and do keep in mind this was within my collection. This wasn't the whole entire world of perfumes. This was just in my collection what I think are the best gourmands. So I hope that I could give you guys some insight. And also don't forget about MINUIT Et Demi coming back March, April. If you wanted to get it, if you missed out, it is coming back, and in my opinion, like I said, one of the best gourmands. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know what else you want to see from me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.